your life. Run for your life. Run for your life.
Yeah, 30.8. Only Oxygen actually is the driver who didn't manage to break the 130s. 130.189.
That is really strong. I
I
wonder if
I'm just-
anybody even will get close at this point.
Yeah, but look, Berezne took pole by almost 0.3 of a second. It was just a tenth of a second shy of our, let's say, imaginary barrier of 1 minute 30 seconds. Then Sela, Nignolo jumped into third. That was a really good. As you said, the grid is ready, so the start lights are on.
And we already have a drive-through for his jump start. Actually, a lot of people.
Oh, man.
We have two people, Pookie as well as Nignolo, both with the jump start. And now Berezny trying to fend off from Sela. And I think he just can make it stick if he can hold himself on the outside. There, and it seems like, yeah, he should be able to hold himself. Maybe there's a little bit of contact.
We have a little bit of a yellow flag. That's Andre Tarabuk in his round.
And also, Andre, yeah, seems like something happened back there. 3 wide, is it? No. Nardi being the smart guy, holding himself out. Maybe trying to do the double overtake here now? No, he's being held up by the others. Can't fight his way through. But yeah, meanwhile, seeing Sela has caught up a little bit. So he's now up until only half a second off. Seems like he probably got DRS on the last 2 straights. And meanwhile, something happened to Modesto. He's coming in already for his first pit stop. So after 6 laps, or actually 5 laps, that's done. So will he go on mediums or will he go on hards? Looks like hard tires.
Let's say hards. Let's say hards.
We'll have to wait and see if he does it on a 1 stop or if he will go for the 2 stop. That's next lap. Now Limitless has taken over Oxygen. I missed that, unfortunately. Maybe there's a switchback. Oh, Limitless having a little bit of oversteer. And Oxygen can fight back. Meanwhile, seeing Berezny and Sela both are continuing on up until lap 7. Now taking a look, maybe Limitless will try it on the outside with DRS and he's through.
It looks like to me
as well as Jorpa also, so it seems like Oxygen's tires are really letting off. Maybe even Svetkov is trying to push through there. But on the left-hand turn he has the worst line, so Oxygen can fight back. Crazy to think. Berezny and Sela still continuing both on softs.
It definitely is crazy. Obviously, they know what they're doing, probably better than us, but still, I am 100% sure now they want to run mediums, not hards during the.
They'll definitely make it a try.
Yeah, they just want to. They just want to stay out for like a lap, maybe 2 laps longer.
Time. Just with the fact that their first half is a lot faster, and now Boyan is making a move on Sela and overtaking. There's a little bit of collision, but all in all, it's looking good, and Sela really is losing here. Almost getting caught by Pui, and I believe Pui will make it stick around the outside, and yeah, he lost it now. So they surely need to come in now this lap, otherwise they will lose out big time.
Sela obviously lost a lot of time, but now Boyan will overtake Berezny into turn 14. Can Berezny find an answer to that? No way, because he doesn't have that much grip under braking.
Menolin has taken over Sela as well, and I think
fifth, and Sela is still losing a lot
and
of time.
Berezny is coming in as well as Sela. Both guys are now coming into the pit lane. Will be interesting to see what they will pick here. Just gonna switch over to the tires real quick. Hasn't used any overtake yet. As now DRS, I believe the straightaway is long enough and should be an easy pass. Yes. And that was it. Little big lockup actually, but thankfully it's F1 and not R Factor. He is going to overtake him now probably. Now in DRS zone, using a little bit of overtake, and that is job done. P4. So he's now again in fresh air, 9 seconds only behind Mark. So that's, yeah, now even only 8.6 seconds. So yeah, he's now within 9 seconds of Limitless. So he really made up big ground there in the last couple of laps. that for Jorpa, Limitless, and Mark, there's any chance left of taking a win or a podium here. Now, Mark and Limitless have been fighting. They're going side by side out of the hairpin. Will somebody go in? And actually, yeah, it is Jorpa as well as Limitless, both coming in now. Surely they will go... Oh, that was close. Big lock up there from Limitless. Taking a look at the back, Mark is fighting onto Daniel. And really close behind them, I believe, there's also, yeah, the Williams driver of Ignars, who's taking back the position from Mark and is now back on P10.
Yeah.
And it's a really close battle. They even touch a little bit, so... Next up is the left hand. Will he make it stick in there? And he does. They touch a little bit more. Doesn't seem like there will be any damage, but both run really wide. Even Mark losing a little bit the rear end there. Surely he's not happy about that. 1.8 seconds, so actually widened the gap a tiny bit there from Sella. Almost 2 seconds now, those two. And we have a safety car, which changes the entire game.
Oh.
Let's look at the race start. Or restart.
So we're back racing. Berezne is already 7/10 up on Sella. Let's look at Limitless because he is just behind Boyan. He has a huge grip advantage, but especially more so of such grip advantage will have guys like Modesto, who is on those new soft tires.
Now onto the final lap already. Coronignolo now with another 3-second time penalty, seeing that he's in P17, that doesn't really matter to him. But meanwhile, Mark, and he's spinning, having contact with Daniel Gurado, and taking out Pookie in the meantime.
Oh, no.
So that really from a bad to a worse to a horrible race for him, sadly.
Berezne, what a showing tonight. That was such a great race by Danny.
Going surely by pace, definitely my driver of the day is Berezny.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, can't really make up any positions and moving forward if you're already in first place, but that definitely was an insane performance by him tonight.
A few fights just before the first turn, and obviously the first turn is a tricky one, so let's go with the race one tonight. And I think that was a very good start. That was a very good start from Daniela, but also from two Aston AlphaTauri guys. I'm sorry.
He's going to the inside. No, he just left the space on the outside, and the Williams Armengol. No, he didn't make it because the second corner.
It doesn't look too bad for them. Sven actually coming after only 8 full laps on those mediums.
Interesting, but
maybe a bit interesting situation.
It's not too early for this race, but
yeah.
I think it's a good call. And as you can see, just ahead of his teammate, but his teammate has a very good... Oh, as I said, his teammate had a racing line, and he used that. And it also overtook Daniele Haddad. Sella is leading the race. No, Bial.
Daniela's trying to come back on Bial because Sella is actually in the net lead, but Daniela tries to maybe go around the outside in turn 5 on Bial, and still he is behind him. He goes actually very wide there, but the fight still goes on through turn 6, now into turn 7. Daniela will have the inside here, and also into turn 8, and Daniela Haddad makes a beautiful move on Bial. And
to make a gap over 1 second over Sella. Sella will just keep his pace because he will use DRS, and Sella is very quick tonight, especially on this track. So let's see if Haddad has some kind of strategy for last few laps. And as you can see, he's very slow actually, Haddad. The Sella is... Oh my god. I don't know if Haddad is driving slow on purpose. What?
And there is a contact.
I believe that... yeah, this is a dessing.
Yeah,
this is a dessing. This is a dessing.
Unfortunately, Daniela Haddad is, because we are seeing that he's disqualified, but that might be the case, not be the case. And Tarabukin hit the back of Sella, and that really happened.
He just broke the front wing, I believe.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate for him. Sila winning the race for Future Esports. Bial coming second for Future Esports 1 and 2. And we have a penalty for Jorpa. So he dropped down to P7. And where is Limitless? Just behind. But in P10 actually. Because of someone's penalty, I believe.
also see that Sela is actually trying to maybe even overtake Sven quite quickly, because Sven is obviously on slower tires now, going through that beautiful left-hander of turn 9. That's a beautiful place
Setkov going a little bit
run
outside.
and Setkov. Yeah, that was a bit of a messy run through turn 11 from him, but
Going past there, now Stella probably looking up the inside. And I think he should be through.
yeah,
Oh no, Napadovsky's fighting back. Up next we got a right-hander, not looking good for Stella. But he's fighting it through. And
make it round
Napadovsky
the
with the
outside.
slide oversteer, and Stella is through. He's now up to P3.
Yeah, that's a good move again. So Sela, I think he is the fastest man on the track, obviously.
Yeah, he already made up 12th position, like... But Sven
Wout
Zerner
was
almost
actually
tried it.
oh,
And probably will dive up here inside. Yes, he does. And will there be contact? There's a little bit of it. But I
that's a good
think
move.
if we both have DRS, yeah, he will pull through.
That was a good move from Sven, and also
Will here be
worth
the comeback?
noting-
Ah, too deep. Or...
Yeah, he tried though.
Ah, he's really using... No, okay, he's backing out. Looking for a later opportunity now. Going defensive. Maybe we'll
It's time
try
for
it around
Sven to
side. Nah. Backing out, maybe now on the inside, diving in. He will try it. Tiny bit of contact, but nothing to worry about. Maybe at this point the mediums are starting to give more grip than the softs. After all, a third of the race is already over. Either trying it way from the inside, no contact, and Zerner is through.
Double, but he just didn't make that move.
And he's... Dobo is now on the inside. He's probably still looking in here. And no, touched a little bit too much curb, unsettled the car. Daniel is through. So next lap probably should be in DRS zone if he really makes it stick. Now Daniel Hadid going on Svetkov. And he should be through, yeah. Unless Svetkov makes the comeback counter attack now into turn 3. No, he doesn't. Daniel is locking up really hard. But no problem for him. And the Williams and the Haas are really fighting hard, and Svetkov is going around.
Oh man, that's a big crash.
He got lucky that
He
the
retired.
tire's not,
He retired.
and he's out. Zerner is only 4/10 away to Sella, showing him that he's on the inside. He's there, trying to make up pressure.
I think it's just a question of one lap. Not much more.
The bigger question is, do you want to overtake him right now, or do you want to hold off so that Sella doesn't have the chance for a counter attack? Because keep in
The
mind,
question is, I guess, how much grip does Sven have left in his tires?
yeah, because if he pushes for too long, for too hard, the mediums will start to have more grip again than the softs. And we got Sella with a 3-second penalty, which basically ruins his race.
It ruins his race, ruins his chances on on winning the race, and I guess just really gives Sven the win.
Plus, by a 10th he is safe. Now they're both fighting into turn 1, but Zerner is through. He will
That's
have
an
another
easy
go
move.
onto turn 3. Zerner locking up. Oops.
And trying to maybe switch back.
Now with the counter, who will have the DRS? Zerner with his DRS, and he will probably get through and run away through the middle sector. Sell is trying to give up a fight. Using
he's
his
not.
using his overtake, but he seems to have a slightly less good exit out of the corner, but now he's still going side by side. These guys are really fighting for it. Sella,
That's a
even
great
with the
fight.
3 seconds, doesn't want to give up.
Yeah, I mean that is a great fight between Sven and Sela, but Sela has lost now what 8/10 on this lap alone. Dogo gets a penalty. Maybe Sela is trying to, I don't know, to cause a mistake on Sven's side and also get a penalty for him. That would be one of the possible, let's say, explanations for that. Sven actually let Sela through in turn.
Wanted to make use of the
14.
DRS now,
Yeah.
so he can pass. Problem for Sella is the more he fights with Zerner now, the more he's risking his chances of staying P2, and he's already lost almost 1.5 seconds, so Limitless will, as it is right now, easily get P2. Seems, and in the meantime, Armengol is trying to make a pass. Oh, he's backing out of it. That would have been a nasty shunt if both would have stuck through it.
Yeah, that could have ended badly, and
Armengol is trying to make a move on Modesto.
this time it works.
Unless Modesto will make a counter in turn 3, and they touch! Lucky for Armengol that he didn't spin, and Modest really going aggressive in there.
The question time, but
Nah,
we know that Sven Zerner has
made
won
it.
the race. Either gets a penalty at the end of it. Sella comes in second, but he will lose it to Limitless. Fourth place for Daniel Guirado, and fifth for Daniela Haddad coming from P20 on the
Making
grid.
up 15th position, that's really good.
That's a big gain.
Run for your life. Run for your life. Run for your life. Run for your life.
Okay, so hello everyone, let me know in chat if you are listening to my voice or not, because I've been commentating all this time without commentary apparently. I don't know why, because everything is picking up my voice. OBS is picking up my voice, Discord, but apparently the YouTube is not, so I really have no idea as to why that might be, but do let me know if you can listen to me now. I've restarted OBS. I've restarted well, everything basically. And yeah, according to my PC, everything is alright with my microphone, but apparently you cannot hear it, which is a bit of a shame. That is for sure. Nonetheless, we are about to get started with the race in a few moments' time. We're going to start the first race out of this 2-race afternoon, and we're going to be driving at, as you've seen from qualifying, we're going to be at Zandvoort. It's one of my favorite tracks, really. Quite a fun one to drive, and I believe we have gotten the orders to get ready to start, so in a few moments we're going to be able to get going with the race. Just getting through the loading procedures, but we are going to have some fun, that is for sure. So I do get confirmation that my voice is getting through YouTube, which it wasn't before, so that's a positive for now. But yeah, we're getting to the Netherlands, and for another day here at the Online Racing League, another Champions League round, and the skies are a little bit threatening, as you can see. The skies are a little bit threatening, and we are just going to wait a few moments for the drivers to, of course, get everything going with their setups, their strategies, and then we are going to get underway. We did have to make a race lobby. I'm not sure if there are any connection issues, but I am getting once again the migrating ghost messages, so I'm going to wait for confirmation on that end. But we do have a countdown on the lobby, so we'll have to wait and see a little while longer. But we do have pole position from Zella, I believe it was, the AlphaTauri driver, Christoph Zella from the Future Esports team. He managed to grab pole 1,000th of a second away from Romanidis from the LR team, driving for the Alpine today. As just while we wait, just a little bit of update on the standings, as we have the Red Bull team of Limitless and Sven Zerner in P1. Then in P2 we have Future Esports, the AlphaTauri drivers of Zella and BL with 161. Then Team Somian in P3 with 127, as they are the Williams drivers. Then we have LR team with 103 in P4, the Romanidis and Jopa in the LR team. Then TF10 currently having Manolo Villar and Iker Baena, so the Mercedes drivers currently in the last of the top 5 spots, the best of the teams unable to crack the 100 points marker at the moment. Then getting back to the Aston Martin team with 65 points, as it is Tarbukin and Bodo line up for them. Then from FVR, it is Ferrari with Modena, sorry, not Modena, but Modesto Mena and Codermingolo in 7th spot with 56 points, only 2 above McLaren, as it is Baraznai and Zabokoni, as they've only achieved 54 points together so far and already knocked out of the playoffs. We have Royals Esports, as they are the Alfa Romeo drivers, and then in last spot the Haas team, or Evan Brains and Taz represent Dynamo Moscow, have also been knocked out, as they've only achieved 12 points so far in this Champions League. So we keep on getting a few issues with the lobby, trying to make sure everything is alright. And yeah, so we just have to redo the lobby once again. Apologize for that, but just a little bit of a further wait. So while we wait, I'm going to have a few words, if I can say that, from our sponsors for the event. Hello once again, this is Racebug. Welcome to another round of the Champions League, and we are getting orders to get started with the race lobby. So apologize for any inconvenience for the delay, but it is what it is. We are not in control of everything, and sometimes we just have to restart the lobby, but we are approaching race start time, if I can say that, and just waiting for the loading procedures, everyone to get their setups ready, their strategies set up as well, and surely we're going to have some great racing, as this track, of course, a little bit narrow, but at least on the start-finish straight there will be plenty of overtaking maneuvers, and of course the first lap isn't one of the easiest for any of the drivers, so we're going to have to wait and see who can get the best run out of turn 1, and the airpin of turn number 3 also can throw a spanner in the works. The weather is quite threatening at the moment, but we don't have any indication of rain, at least for the time being. We're going to have to wait and see how the weather develops. As we got Zella on pole and Romanidis in P2, as once again those two drivers were separated by 1,000 of a second in qualifying. So brilliant performances from those two drivers. Then I believe we have both Red Bulls in the second row. Not recalling exactly, but we are going to wait and see. As you can see at the top, the countdown is coming to a close, and soon we are going to be able to see what tires the drivers are going to start on. And as you can see, everyone outside of the top 10 is starting on the mediums. So there you have it. Only the drivers in the top 10 are starting from on a set of soft tires. Of course, they aren't going to be a worn out set because they've been used in qualifying. But it is interesting indeed to see everyone be on the alternate strategy. Well, everyone outside of the top 10, of course. But we have Zello on pole, Romanidis, then Modesto Mena, Sven Zerner, as Alberola in the second Alpine in P5. Then we have the Mercedes of Iker Bena, Q in P7, then Tyler Buchan in P8, as he managed to be the only Aston Martin in the top 10 for the start of these Grand Prix. But the McLarens, though, they didn't get the best of starts to this event, as Saboconi in P11, Beresney, who dropped off of the qualifying session, some sort of issue with the McLaren driver, didn't give him the chance even to post a qualifying lap. And he's starting from the back of the grid. He's the only driver starting on the hard tires. He's going to be also the last driver joining us on the grid. And we are going to have to wait. At least this front row driver is going to wait for a little bit. But we are getting ready for 36 laps of the Dutch Grand Prix. And there you have it now. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. lights out, and away we go for the Netherlands Grand Prix. Zella with a great start. Romanidis is going to challenge him, but he cannot quite do it into turn 1. Zerner and Mena battle it out for P3 and 4, as looks like Zerner got the best end of the deal. Alberola now taking a look at Mena, but not quite getting his car alongside. Tarabukin jerking it out for P7 with Alvaro Pue, as Tarabukin has a great view. BL also has a great view of that particular battle as they wrap up, or are close to wrapping up, the first sector, getting through turn number 8. A little bit of a checkup from Pue as the concertina effect forces everyone to slow down a little bit further than they probably would have liked to, but Pue tries to defend from BL now, who tries to surprise on the inside of turn number 10. Couldn't quite get it done into turn number 11 and into the braking zone of the last corner of the second sector. Everyone snakes through it, but we have Manolin battling it out with the Alfa Romeo, and there's a spin. Moritz is now facing the wrong direction. Berezny got caught in that, I believe, and Gabor as well. So both Alfa Romeos getting collected in that incident, but I'm not sure if anyone got front wing damage from that. Probably just Marvin Moritz. Zella still leads from Romanidis and Zerner. Everyone very close at this point of the race. Of course, DRS is not enabled just yet, so everyone has a little bit of time to catch their breaths after a not less chaotic first lap. And yes, Berezny was forced to adapt his strategy, as looks like it is a front wing change for the McLaren driver. Further back we have Taz with issues, as he's facing the wall at the exit of turn number 8. So another driving facing some issues. He drops down to P19, not the start for the race he was expecting, for sure, or at least hoping for. Meantime, we're following Tarabukin, the number 51 of the Aston Martin, trying to get a measure of the competition, trying to hold on to the top 5. BL quite close to Alvaro Pue, but Zella at the front, coming under pressure from Romanidis. They are side by side at the exit of turn number 1, side by side through 2, side by side through 3. Let's see how it goes on the braking zone into 4, and it is Romanidis claiming the lead of the Grand Prix. Zella won't let him get away for too much longer, though. He's glued to the rear diffuser of that Alpine. But now, how comfortable is he with the dirty air from the Alpine ahead of him? Romanidis got the best of him. Is Zella able to retaliate in the laps to come? Going to have to wait a little bit. But we do have the RS now before the third sector, but not much of a straight, or not enough of a straight to have any overtaking attempt present itself. In the meantime, we have Manolin in the Mercedes, as the TF10 team's driver is currently chasing Armengol in the Williams, and we have rain. There's rain on the circuit at the moment, and now it's Zella, Zerner, and Romanidis joking it out for P1. Zella got the best end of the deal there. Romanidis, without the access to the RS, loses out to Zerner. And now there's rain on the circuit, and now it is a matter of time. When will the drivers be forced to change onto a set of intermediates? Will this rain last even enough, or for long enough, for the drivers to be forced to change? That's a good question, but you are going to have to wait and see. Once again, into the second DRS zone only serves really for the challenging drivers to put pressure on the leading ones. Everyone is in the DRS of each other, well down into the 15th spot. Then the drivers who were affected by incidents in the first lap. But now we have DRS wide open in the back of Sven Zerner. Romanidis with the best seat in the aisles for the action, but the Red Bull can't quite get past the driver in the sister team, if I can call it that. As the Red Bull can't get past the AlphaTauri at the moment. And Christoph Zella still leads the race. About 60% of battery charge for Romanidis. Mena has a little bit more, 70%. And Alberola still maintaining P5, as we can take a look at the changes of position. Not many changes. The most positions gained is even Evans, who mostly got the positions through errors of his rivals, as Moritz, Taz and Berezne, I believe. Gabor didn't really make a mistake, but was collected in the contacts that involved Moritz. So that's why he dropped down that much. But now another round of the battle for the top spot. Zerner once again with the DRS, but nothing comes of it. Further down the order, Tarabukin also getting to the corner. And no changes. We still have DRS, so it's still not time for intermediates, but the drivers are for sure starting to feel the effects of the track getting a little bit greasy here and there. We're going to take a look at the McLaren of Zabo Koni, who looks like he has made some sort of mistake. Look, speaking of mistakes, Alberola is down in 14th. He's probably going to lose a couple more places, but a mistake into turn 11 and a spin for the Alpine driver. That creates a gap in the field. Azika Baina, yes, he claims P5, but he is currently over a second away from the top 4. So he's probably under pressure from Tarabukin, who probably sees this as a good opportunity to overtake. Can't quite get it done though. Zabo Koni also under pressure from Manolin, but the DRS advantage wasn't enough for the Mercedes driver. Evans closes in on Alberola after his mistake. You can see how many drivers are starting to lose the rear out of the first corner. Alberola loses the spots to Evans. But further up the order, it's still Christoph Zella who leads the race, followed by Sven Zerner. But these top 4 really close together then. Let's see if Baina is able to close the gap. He lost out on the DRS once again. But if he wants to close the gap, he needs an inspired lap or to use a lot of that so-called overtake mode, which might put him on the back foot for the remainder of the race. It's a little bit of a trade-off he's going to have to achieve. And I don't think he has DRS at the moment, but Sven Zerner does, and he's about to use it over Zella. He gets the inside into turn 1. And let's see who gets the better exit. And it is Zerner who claims top spot once again. And we have drivers already coming into the pits for intermediates. We have Kodor Mingolo, we have Limitless, Connie, Manolin, sorry, Evans as well, Alberola, a change of front wing for this 87 of the Haas. And is going to be the last one out of those drivers on the intermediates. Now we are going to follow on board with the Ferrari just to try and understand the conditions. Was this a good bet to change for the intermediates? Ooh, a bit of a wobble there coming out of the left-hand kink of turn 7. But looks like they are competent enough for the conditions. Moritz still pressurizing Sabo Koni though. So looks like we are truly on the changeover point. Because Moritz isn't really losing time to these drivers around him. Oh, Manolin, you can see the struggle there to put the traction down. The DRS wide open, still the DRS for these drivers. And Bena with some issues, and looks like he's involved, Alvaro Pue. And they've been involved in some sort of incident. Going to try and understand if there's a front wing change. Yes, it is for the Mercedes. Is it for the Williams as well? Yes, a front wing change for the Williams as well. And Biel got a penalty. If I saw the notification correctly, you're going to... Yes, a penalty for Biel. And with such a close field, it's going to be tough. Manolin also causing yellow flags as Gabor comes into the pits. Bena also into the pits to get rid of those medium tires. And Bena disqualified for blocking the pit lane. So Bena has lost it coming out of the pits. Couldn't get it back under control. Couldn't get back to racing. Gabor smashed into the back of him. There's front wing damage for the Alfa Romeo. And it is race over for the Mercedes, who was doing a good job threatening, well, maintaining P5 and threatening the top 4. But finally we have the top 6 drivers coming into the pits. It is surely now, the rain has intensified, so it is truly time for intermediates. As we have Romanidis, quick change from his pit crew. Zella also getting the release right in front of the Alpine. And Zerner gets the better end of the deal. He actually pulled off a gap of about 2 seconds to Zella there, and Romanidis could try to fit himself in that slot. Armengol got back on mediums. I do not understand what happened there, but Armengol, he went in... Did he not pit? I believe Armengol didn't come into the pits. Armengol did not pit, and he's going to be struggling mightily. Astara Bukin now claims 5th place. Boda challenging Biel. He knows Biel has the penalty. Biel needs to claim some time off of his rivals. As we have the Alfa Romeo drivers back in the pits, as this has been a calamitous race for them. Really not ideal. They're about to wrap up lap number 10, and Zerner already has a 2-second advantage to Zella, with Romanidis closely following the rear diffuser of the AlphaTauri. Let's see how it goes. Of course, Zella with the massive moment there. Romanidis was forced to lift, and Mena gets a massive run on them. They are 3 wide into turn 1. Zella is going to be losing out tremendously. A bit of a lockup into turn 1. Can he pull off a mighty switchback? No, he does not. You could see how many times he had to correct the steering wheel on the exit. But Modesto Mena taking the opportunity and claiming 2 places. As Zella almost lost the rear through the last corner. Romanidis had to lift off to avoid colliding with the AlphaTauri, but Mena, a little bit further back, did not have to take such precautionary maneuvers and managed to take the advantage, the speed difference, and claim 2nd place. Romanidis at least is able to maintain P3. But the pole sitter, with that mistake, has he thrown away any chance of grabbing the podium places, because I believe at least Romanidis has shown to be a little bit more confident in the current track conditions. Also, we have Biel overtaken by Boda, as not only has lost the time due to the penalties, also losing time on track, so also not as comfortable as the Aston Martin driver. In the meantime, Sven Zerner is really happy with how things have turned out, especially with the battle from the drivers behind him, as he's claimed another 2 or 3 tenths. But yeah, you can see Zella is really struggling to keep up with Romanidis and Mena, and I do believe Romanidis is the faster driver at the moment out of Mena, Romanidis and Zella. In the meantime, yellow flags for Moritz, I believe it was, as both Alfa Romeos are actually about to be caught up by the leaders. But we also have Armengol and Berezne on mediums. I'm not sure if they are trying to bet on the rain period being short enough for them to be able to not make the pit stop onto intermediates and then back onto dry tires. But that's surely a gamble. They do have the gap. Bereznay 8 seconds away from Evans, 13 seconds to the front of him. Armengol is also starting to get in no man's land. So I guess they feel like they have to take this gamble to maybe get back in contention of some points, but hopefully they do not take themselves or others out of the race by being in these suboptimal conditions. Armengol already lost 5 seconds in this lap to the Alpine ahead of him, of Giorgio Alberola. It has been really tough circumstances for him and Bereznay, but getting back to the front, Romanidis is putting immense pressure on Modesto Mena. In terms of ERS charge, Romanidis has about 15 to 20% less battery charge than the Ferrari driver, so despite the pressure, Mena might have a little bit of an advantageous position, and Armengol, with a mistake, drops back to Evans and Bereznay at the same time. He actually comes back into the pits. I have no idea, unless this is a visual glitch. I have no idea why Armengol isn't changing his tires. Unless this is a visual glitch and he has already gotten back onto the intermediates. This is really unsettling at the moment. Yeah, something is going on with the standings. As I'm going to try to take a look at Armengol. Yeah, it's still showing up as being on the intermediates, but he's keeping up with, I believe, his Taz in P15. He's actually challenging him. They are side by side through turn number 11. Let's see who, and much better grip there from Armengol, and finally it has updated. Finally Armengol is on the intermediates. Looking back at the front, as we witnessed a good move from Armengol on the outside of turn 11, but Armengol claiming P14, the other blue car of the Alpine of Romanidis, putting up immense pressure on Modesto Mena, and they collectively are actually closing the gap bit by bit to Zerner. So Mena looks like he found an extra gear because he pulled off a few tenths on Romanidis, who was practically glued to his rear diffuser over the past few laps. And we have Alberola and Alvaro Pue, as we have a Spaniards battle once again around the outside of turn number 11. Oh, that's look like a little bit of slight contact between the rear of the Alpine and the front tires of the Williams, but nothing too major, nothing too dangerous. And Alberola claims P11. He still has about 7.5 seconds though to close in on Szabo Koni of the McLaren. So it's going to be interesting to see how much of an inroad can he make on that gap. Zella has been able to bridge the gap a little bit. He's still in contention, so maybe he adapted his lines, his approach to some corners, and now he's feeling a little bit more confident, a little bit more comfortable on the intermediate conditions, and is able to close in a little bit on the two cars ahead of him. But I do believe he is the driver with the least amount of overtake mode available out of the trio challenging for top 2. As Zerner didn't have the best of second sectors, he lost about 4 tenths to the Ferrari, so he needs to keep himself together as the number 8. Maybe he's relaxing himself a bit too much, as he does have a relatively comfortable gap, but he needs to keep himself honest. Looking back, Boda has managed to come back all the way after overtaking Bial. He's managed to reel in his teammate, and Tarbukin is starting to see his teammate on the mirrors. As we are already in 16 laps, so the laps do fly around this track. Again, one of the shortest of the calendar. 2.6 miles, I believe. So that translates roughly to 4.2 kilometers, if I'm not mistaken. So, surely on the short side of the tracks on the calendar. Tarabukin is losing time to the top 4 and to his teammate behind him. So we're going to have to wait and see if there is some sort of team orders, because Boda, despite qualifying further back, is getting held up by Tarabukin. And yes, we have team orders. Tarabukin is now trying to maintain BL behind him, who himself has been quicker than Tarabukin, unless Tarabukin has some sort of damage, which we cannot see. Going to try to take a look at it. The front wing is damaged at least. He might have damage on the floor or the rear of the car, but we can't tell at the moment. Also, we've had yellow flags further back, but everything has been sorted out. Beresnay, for me, is still showing up on the mediums, and yeah, now the standings have gone haywire, and we are going to have to wait a little bit for the drivers to complete either the first sector or the lap to get everything sorted out again. But Zerner is indeed still the leader of this Grand Prix, with Romanidis behind him. Sorry about that, I had to pause for a second. But getting back to this battle, Zerner now lost another half a second in the past 2 laps, there or thereabout. And there you have it, Zerner is finally back in P1 in the standings. And we are going to keep tabs on how this gap develops, but Mena and Romanidis are showing to be more comfortable than the leader on these intermediate conditions. Looking further back, Tarabukin has lost the place to BL and is really struggling. You can see the difficulty to put the power down coming out of turn number 4. And we have yellow flags, not exactly sure who caused them, but I believe it was someone ahead of Limitless. So, Todor Ningolo maybe was the driver who caused those yellow flags. The yellow flags are still on track, despite I don't see any cars stopped on the track, but we do have still yellow flags in sector number 1. I believe that is the end of the first sector. So hopefully those get cleared soon. Getting back to Zerner, we have to rely on our visuals at the moment. And yeah, Mena, so close now to getting within a second of Sven Zerner. So we really need to try to find a bit extra pace. Otherwise, Zerner might be in trouble, especially if the rain does not stop. Zella, there are some laps where he catches up, sometimes where he starts losing, some laps where he starts losing time. It is tough to keep up with the top 3 drivers for Zella at the moment. He has about 45% ERS, as Romanidis, Mena and Zerner are much more comfortable, so Zella is really extending himself in terms of effort, is really throwing away some of his resources to try just keep himself within a second of the cars ahead. In the meantime, Boda still in P5. Yes, he has gotten back to P5, and Tarabukin, it's showing up to me as all the way back into P12. So yeah, something has gone on. something has gone on with our booking, and I'm getting notifications in chats that the lobby has bugged out and Limitless has been taken out. So I still, yeah, he is in the garage, but yeah, we didn't even get notification of that. So thank you, chat, for letting me know. But yeah, the standings at the moment are all haywire, and I apologize for that. But of course, nobody in ORL is in control of when these situations happen. But everything has just gone haywire for some reason. And we do have the safety car. Beresny has the safety car. The safety car is on track for me as well. I can see the safety car, and I have no idea. And it's also on the mediums for me, so... I'm not sure if you are going to restart the race or what is going on, but I'm going to wait for confirmation on that. Beresny has given up on that and overtaken the safety car. And yes, I'm getting the calls. I can see your calls for the restart. But I need confirmation. I need confirmation from race directory, if I can say that. But yeah, well, I'm going to take a look at that and yeah, it's really bugged. Star Booking and Limitless are out of the race now, according to the lobby. Romanidis is in front of Zerner, who has a 5-second penalty for a collision, and Romanidis is ahead of the safety car. So yeah, I apologize everyone who's watching, but again, stuff that is out of our control. You probably know, you probably understand that. Yeah, you probably understand, and yeah, everyone is desynced for one another, and there's nothing we can say, really. There's nothing we can say, just trying to get confirmation. And we are going to have, I got a notification that we are going to do the restart of the lobby, and it's going to be a 25% race. So we are going to be back in a little bit, but while we set up the lobby, we are going to get to you some images of the previous round of the championship. So we are going to indeed restart the lobby, and we will be right back. Before that,
Run for your life. Run for your life. Run for your life. Run for your life.
Yeah, 30.8. Only Oxygen actually is the driver who didn't manage to break the 130s. 130.189.
That is really strong. I wonder if anybody even will get close at this point.
Yeah, but look, Beresny took pole by almost 0.3 of a second. It was just a 1/10 of a second shy of our, let's say, imaginary barrier of 1 minute 30 seconds. Then Sele, Nignolo jumped into third. That was a really good. As you said, the grid is ready, so the start lights are on.
And we already have a drive-through for his jump start. Actually, a lot of people.
Oh, man.
We have two people, Pookie as well as Nignolo, both with the jump start. And now Beresny trying to fend off from Sele. And I think he just can make it stick if he can hold himself on the outside. There, and it seems like, yeah, he should be able to hold himself. Maybe there's a little bit of contact.
We have a little bit of a yellow flag. That's Andre Tarabuk in his round.
And also, Andre, yeah, seems like something happened back there. 3 wide, is it? No. Nardi being the smart guy, holding himself out, maybe trying to do the double overtake here now. No, he's being held up by the others. Can't fight his way through. But yeah, meanwhile, seeing Sella has caught up a little bit. So he's now up until only half a second off. Seems like he probably got DRS on the last two straights. And meanwhile, something happened to Modesto. He's coming in already for his first pit stop. So after 6 laps, or actually 5 laps, that's done. So will he go on mediums or will he go on hards? Looks like hard tires.
Let's say hards. Let's say hards.
We'll have to wait and see if he'll does it on a 1-stop or if he will go for the 2-stop. Next lap. Now Limitless has taken over Oxygen. I missed that, unfortunately. Maybe there's a switchback. Oh, Limitless having a little bit of oversteer. And Oxygen can fight back. Meanwhile, seeing Berezny and Sella both are continuing on up until lap 7. Now taking a look, maybe Limitless will try it on the outside with DRS and he's through.
It looks like to me
As well as Jorpa also, so it seems like Oxygen's tires are really letting off. Maybe even Svetkov is trying to push through there. But on the left-hand turn he has the worst line, so Oxygen can fight back. Crazy to think. Berezny and Sella still continuing both on softs.
It definitely is crazy. Obviously, they know what they're doing, probably better than us, but still, I am 100% sure now they want to run mediums, not hards during
They'll definitely make it a try.
Yeah, they just want to. They just want to stay out for like a lap, maybe 2 laps longer.
Time. Just with the fact that their first half is a lot faster, and now Boyan is making a move on Sella and overtaking. There's a little bit of collision, but all in all, it's looking good, and Sella really is losing here. Almost
Sella
getting
is
caught
losing.
by Pui, and I believe Pui will make it stick around the outside, and yeah, he lost it now. So they surely need to come in now this lap. Otherwise, they will lose out big time.
Sella obviously lost a lot of time, but God, now Boyan will overtake Berezny into turn 14. Can Berezny find an answer to that? No way, because he doesn't have that much grip under
Also,
braking.
Menolin has taken over Sella as well, and I think...
Sella is now 5th, and Sella is still losing a lot
and
of time.
Berezny is coming in as well as Sella. Both guys are now coming into the pit lane. Will be interesting to see what they will pick here. Just gonna switch over to the tires real quick. Hasn't used any overtake yet. As now DRS, I believe the straightaway is long enough and should be an easy pass. Yes. And that was it. Little big lockup actually, but thankfully it's F1 and not R Factor. He is going to overtake him now probably. Now in DRS zone, using a little bit of overtake, and that is job done. P4. So he's now again in fresh air, 9 seconds only behind Mark. So that's, yeah, now even only 8.6 seconds. So yeah, he's now within 9 seconds of Limitless. So he really made up big ground there in the last couple of laps. But for Jorpa, Limitless, and Mark, there's any chance left of taking a win or a podium here. Now Mark and Limitless have been fighting. They're going side by side out of the hairpin. Will somebody go in? And actually, yeah, it is Jorpa as well as Limitless both coming in now. Surely they will go... Oh, that was close. Big lock up there from Limitless. Taking a look at the back, Mark is fighting on to Daniel. And really close behind them, I believe, there's also, yeah, the Williams driver of Ignars, who's taking back the position from Mark and is now back on P10.
Yeah.
And it's a really close battle. They even touch a little bit, so... Next up is the left hand. Will he make it stick in there? And he does. They touch a little bit more. Doesn't seem like there will be any damage, but both run really wide. Even Mark losing a little bit the rear end there. Surely he's not happy about that. 1.8 seconds, so actually widened the gap a tiny bit there from Sella. Almost 2 seconds now, those two. And we have a safety car, which changes the entire game.
Oh.
Let's look at the race start. Or restart.
So we're back racing. Beresnay is already 7/10 up on Sella. Let's look at Limitless because he is just behind Boyan. He has a huge grip advantage, but especially more so of such grip advantage will have guys like Modesto, who is on those new soft tires.
Now onto the final lap already. Coronignolo now with another 3-second time penalty, seeing that he's in P17, that doesn't really matter to him. But meanwhile, Mark, and he's spinning, having contact with Daniel Gurado, and taking out Pookie in the meantime.
Oh, no.
So that really from a bad to a worse to a horrible race for him, sadly.
Beresnay, what a showing tonight. That was such a great race by Danny.
Going surely by pace, definitely my driver of the day is Beresnay.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, can't really make up any positions and moving forward if you're already in first place, but that definitely was an insane performance by him tonight.
A few fights just before the first turn, and obviously the first turn is a tricky one. So let's go with the race one tonight, and I think that was a very good start. That was a very good start from Daniela, but also from two AlphaTauri guys. I'm sorry.
He's going to the inside. No, he just left the space on the outside, and the Williams Armengol. No, he didn't make it because the second corner.
It doesn't look too bad for them. Sven actually coming after only 8 full laps on those mediums.
Interesting, but
maybe a bit interesting situation.
It's not too early for this race, but
Yeah.
I think it's a good call. And as you can see, just ahead of his teammate, but his teammate has a very good. Oh, as I said, his teammate had a racing line, and he used that. And it also overtook Daniele Haddad. Sella is leading the race. No, Bial.
But Daniela's trying to come back on Bial because Sella is actually in the net lead, but Daniela tries to maybe go around the outside in turn 5 on Bial, and still he is behind, and he goes actually very wide there, but the fight still goes on through turn 6, now into turn 7. Daniela will have the inside here, and also into turn 8, and Daniela Haddad makes a beautiful move on Bial, and
to make a gap over 1 second over Sella. Sella will just keep his pace because he will use DRS, and Sella is very quick tonight, especially on this track. So let's see if Haddad has some kind of strategy for last few laps. And as you can see, he's very slow actually, Haddad. The Sella is... Oh my god. I don't know if Haddad is driving slow on purpose. What?
And there is a contact.
I believe that... yeah, this is a dessing.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a dessing. This is a dessing.
Unfortunately, Daniela Haddad is because we are seeing that he's disqualified, but that might be the case, not be the case. And Tarabukin hit the back of Sella, and that really happened.
He just broke the
And
front
he
wing,
must
I
have-
believe.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate for him. Sila winning the race for Future Esports. Bial coming second for Future Esports 1 and 2. And we have a penalty for Yorpa. So he dropped down to P7. And where is Limitless? Just behind. But in P10 actually. Because of someone's penalty, I believe.
Perhaps you can also see that Sella is actually trying to maybe even overtake Sven quite quickly, because Sven is obviously on slower tires now, going through that beautiful left-hander of turn 9. That's a beautiful place to run and Setkov. Yeah, that was a bit of a messy run through turn 11 from him, but
Going past there, now Stella probably looking up the inside. And I think he should be through.
yeah,
Oh no, Napadovsky's fighting back. Up next we got a right-hander, not looking good for Stella. But he's fighting it through. And
make it round the
Napadovsky with the
outside.
slide oversteer, and Stella is through. He's now up to P3.
yeah, that's a good move again. So Sella, I think he is the fastest man on the track, obviously.
Yeah, he already made up 12th position, like... But Sven
Wow,
Zerner
actually
almost
did-
tried it.
oh.
And probably will dive up here inside. Yes, he does. And will there be contact? There's a little bit of it. But I
that's a good
think
move.
if we both have DRS, yeah, he will pull through.
That was a good move from Sven, and also
Will here be
worth
the comeback?
noting.
Ah, too deep. Or
Yeah, he tried though.
he's really using... Now, okay, he's backing out. Looking for a later opportunity now. Going defensive. Maybe we'll
It's time
try
for
it
a
around
stop, yeah.
side. Nah. Backing out, maybe now on the inside, diving in. He will try it. Tiny bit of contact, but nothing to worry about. Maybe at this point the mediums are starting to give more grip than the softs. After all, a third of the race is already over. Either trying it way from the inside, no contact, and Zerner is through.
Double, but he just didn't make that move.
And Dobo is now on the inside. He's probably still looking in here. And no, touched a little bit too much curb, unsettled the car. Daniel is through. So next lap probably should be in DRS zone if he really makes it stick. Now Daniel Hadid going on Svetkov. And he should be through, yeah. Unless Svetkov makes the comeback counter attack now into turn 3. No, he doesn't. Daniel is locking up really hard. But no problem for him. And the Williams and the Haas are really fighting hard. And Svetkov is going around.
Oh man, that's a big crash.
He got lucky that
He
the
retired.
tire's not.
He retired.
And he's out. Zerner is only 4/10 away to Selle. Showing him that he's on the inside. He's there trying to make up pressure.
I think it's just a question of one lap. Not much more.
The bigger question is, do you want to overtake him right now, or do you want to hold off so that Selle doesn't have the chance for a counter attack? Because keep in
The
mind,
question is, I guess, how much grip does Sven have left in his tires?
yeah, because if he pushes for too long, for too hard, the mediums will start to have more grip again than the softs. And we got Selle with a 3-second penalty, which basically ruins his race.
It ruins his race, ruins his chances on on winning the race, and I guess just really gives Sven the win.
Plus, by a 10th, he is safe. Now they're both fighting into turn 1, but Zerner is through. He will
That
have
was
another
easy
go
move,
onto turn 3. Zerner locking up. Oops.
And trying to maybe switch back.
Now with the counter, who will have the DRS? Zerner with his DRS, and he will probably get through and run away through the middle sector. Selle is trying to give up a fight. Using
he's not.
using his overtake, but he seems to have a slightly less good exit out of the corner, but now he's still going side by side. These guys are really fighting for it. Selle,
That's a
even
great
with the
fight.
3 seconds, doesn't want to give up.
Yeah, I mean that is a great fight between Sven and Selle, but Selle has lost now what 8/10 on this lap alone. Dogo gets a penalty. Maybe Selle is trying to, I don't know, to cause a mistake on Sven's side and also get a penalty for him. That would be one of the possible, let's say, explanations for that. Sven actually let Selle through in turn.
Wanted to make use of the
14.
DRS now,
Yeah.
so he can pass. Problem for Selle is the more he fights with Zerner now, the more he's risking his chances of staying P2, and he's already lost almost 1.5 seconds, so Limitless will, as it is right now, easily get...
Hello once again, sorry for the interruption of the clip, but as you can see we have gone straight on to the Circuit of the Americas, so we don't have much time left, so we had to, well, abandon Zandvoort and come across the pond to the USA, and we are going to do one-shot qualifying, as of course is standard practice for the second race of the session. And yeah, we are going to start one-shot qualifying and then we are going for the race as normal, hopefully. But welcome back once again, and in a few moments we are going to be able to take a look at the qualifying session, and going to go on board with Berezny. Oh, the driver wasn't able to get himself on the board last time out, and he goes on the brakes about 100 meters away from turn number 1. He gets himself now up through the gears through the second corner, and now as we begin the slalom of turns 3, 4, 5. Now the long turn number 6. You need to touch on the brakes now. Just thrust the car into turn number 7. Now it's a bit of a tricky corner. The curb is quite slippery both on entry and on the exit of turn number 9. Just keep it within track limits. Up through the gears once again. Now very difficult spots to find the braking zone. Double lock up there from the McLaren driver as he rotates to corner number 11. A little bit of hesitation from the steering wheel, but he does get away. Up through the gears, a little bit of time to breathe before going hard on the brakes once again. About 130 meters away from the corner. Lock up once again for the McLaren. Dropping down to third, short shifting up to fourth. Another dab on the brakes as you close out sector number 2. Now very technical, very difficult. The beginning of this third sector, getting now through the exit of turn 16. A little bit of counter steering motion. But nonetheless, car feels planted now through corner number 17 and 18. Basically the reverse of turn 8 from Turkey. Very cautious on the entry to turn 19 and into turn number 20. You are going to see who got pole, and it is Romanidis with a 1:43.4 who claims the top spot. 5/10 away from Zerner, then Nardi, then Beresnay, then Puki in the best of the AlphaTauris, then Firer, Limitless, Armengol, Zaboconi, Boda closing the top 10. And tricky conditions in these intermediates for this qualifying session, and of course one-shot qualifying, so we do have a few drivers who didn't manage to get laps together. Oscar Fernandez had a mistake somewhere, 22 seconds off the pace, but then Zell, who got pole at Zandvoort, is starting from P15, then the Ferrari driver there, then Evans in P17, Modesto in 18th, Manolin in 19th, and the second Mercedes there of Vicar closes our grid. So unfortunately for some of the drivers, Codorningolo also qualified in P10, I believe, for Zandvoort, also starting much further back than he probably would have liked to. And Icarbena qualified in 6th, if I recall correctly, and he's starting from last. The skies are clear though, as we make the transition for the actual race. Just waiting a few extra moments for the drivers to get set up on their strategies, and let's see how that one goes. Waiting a few moments now, as you can see the countdown, and we are going to see what tires do the drivers are going to choose for the Grand Prix. I would say soft, medium soft would be the best strategy around here, but we're going to have to wait and see what the drivers start on. It might turn out to be a one-stopper from mediums to hards, but I do believe the hards to be a very difficult tire in F1 2021. So we do have the formation lap started, and as you can see, only 3 drivers starting on the mediums, on the softs. So I believe the drivers are going to do soft, either medium hard or soft hard. We're going to take a look. We're going to wait and see. Yeah, before doing any major bets, we are going to have to wait for who does a one-stopper or a two-stopper. I'm not sure which one is the fastest around here. But Romanidis is on pole. Zerner qualified P4 at Zandvoort, qualifies P2 now. Nardi doing his first race of the afternoon qualifies in P3, so strong showing from the Alpine drivers. As the second Alpine in the first race qualified in 5th, if I recall correctly. Now it's P1 and P3. Danny Berezny managed to grab P4 after not being able to qualify in Zandvoort, sorry. So hopefully you can get a good showing from him. Limitless in P7, Saboconi improving on his qualifying performance as well from Zandvoort. And Oscar Fernandez in P14 also starting on the soft, so it's going to be quite interesting. Also Zella, of course, one of the drivers who has shown the quickest pace, one of the contenders for the top spot of the race, but with this poor qualifying, is he able to proceed through the pack? And if he does so, how quickly can he do? Well, Romanidis is already on his slot on the grid, as we have the Mercedes bringing up the rear of the pack. So a lot of waiting that Romanidis has to do as the anticipation builds up. There you have it. The Mercedes on the final spot of the grid. In a moment, we're going to have the 5 lights lit up right above the heads of the drivers. There you have it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. Lights out, and away we go for the USA Grand Prix. Good start from the front 4. A bit of a squeeze already from Romanidis on Zerner, who gets the inside line into turn 1. Better grip from the softs, and Zerner leads from Romanidis, from Berezny, who's side by side with Nardi, but also claims P3. Buki maintains P5. Fire and Limitless in P6 and P7 as there's chaos at the back. Fernandez already in last place, and there's a shower of carbon fiber. I could not understand who that was from, but a massive collision somewhere through this beginning sector of the race, and lots of swapped places, as we have Baena, who started last, is currently P15, and there's a massive damage in the front of, I believe that is Bryn Evans, no sorry, that is Moritz in the Alfa Romeo with a completely missing front wing. Pederningolo probably has damage, as well as Evans. Taz and Mena battle it out for P13. Oh, and it goes quite deep on the brakes. It's 3 wide, it's contact with Gabor. Both of them are going to lose positions. Maybe some impatience there from Taz, especially after the first contact. Didn't quite give Gabor an opportunity to get his car settled back, and they just kept on pushing each other more and more towards the left of the track, losing quite a bit of time. Looking at the end of this first lap, Zella though managed to take through the chaos and grab 10th spot so far. Mena as well with 6 places gained, but Baena, king of these first laps, from last to P13. Mena though has a penalty. Manolin speeds entering the pit lane. Gets a 5-second penalty for that one. Armengol pressurizing Zella as Zella grabs another position. And Zerner, through those that set of soft tires, is already nursing a lead of over 1.5 seconds. Romanidis is also taking Berezny to the brink of losing the RS, as we have Oscar Fernandez with a spin at the beginning of sector number 2. Mena and Connie also battling it out for P11, as it is a bit of a drag race at the moment. It's contact between both of them. Let's see who is more brave under braking. It's the inside line for the number 12 against the 86 of the McLaren. Quite reminiscent of real life, if I can say so myself. But in this occasion, it is Mena who takes the upper hand, And as P11 has his own, he is penalized though, so he needs to find a way to settle himself in a pace to minimize the losses from that penalty. Beresney, I do believe he already lost access to the RS. 40% of the battery charge available. Romanidis has about 50. The same for Zerner. So the top two are quite balanced in terms of their battery deployments in these first few laps. Fire though in the Williams. He hasn't gotten the practice or the competition practice today, as this is only his first race of the afternoon. It was his teammate who ran at Zandvoort, as I believe he's replacing Alvaro Pue, but he's doing a good job in P6 at the moment. Bodas qualified in P10, I believe, and he's pressurizing Limitless, who's ahead of him. Now Icar Baena started last, pressurizing Sabo Koni, but at the entry of turn number 12, he's trying for the switchback, couldn't quite get enough space, but he did pick up the throttle earlier. Just couldn't quite capitalize on that chance, but he's going on the inside of Koni, trying to surprise the number 85 of the McLaren. And they are going side by side now as the McLaren has the inside line. There's contact between the two of them. This could end up in tears for one of them. There's contact! As Koni has to yield position, and I'm not sure. I didn't see any carbon fiber flying, but I am not sure if he did escape getting damage. Oh, and now he's coming under threat from Taz, as gets the inside into turn 1, and yeah, Koni loses out another spot. But yeah, if there is any damage, we cannot see it at the moment. Further up the order, Nardi looks like he's next in line to lose out on DRS to the car ahead, as I believe that is Evans. Yeah, issues for Brain Evans. Nardi is able to get the RS for this lap. Beresney does not have access to such device, so that will help Nardi quite a bit. But Romanidis is doing a great job of pulling away from Beresney, of keeping him just above 1 second, giving Nardi the best chance to attack the McLaren ahead of him. But further back the order, Mena putting some pressure on the Williams of Armengol. Is trying to surprise him on the inside of turn 16. Couldn't quite pull it off. Has to settle for P11 for now. And further back, we have Oscar Fernandez in a duel with Codorningolo for 17th place. For now, advantage for the Ferrari driver. At the moment, beginning of lap number 5, Sven Zerner is controlling affairs at the moment. He gained about half a second in the previous lap, or at least 4/10 he did gain on the previous lap over Romanidis. So he still has some life in those mediums, and Brain Evans, frustrating day of racing for him and the DNS. We can understand the frustration, but still, you never know what's coming up. Maybe a safety car could throw his race around, but he did have a very frustrating couple races. Nonetheless, DNF for the Haas driver, which means we have 3 majorly white cars still contending. In the meantime, Zella loses out to Mena, but they are still side by side through the next pair of corners. I didn't even notice when did Mena overtake Armengol. Nonetheless, he did get to Zella, and they are both battling it out. Modesto goes a bit wide, but Zella loses a bit of traction out of turn 16. For the last few corners now, we can see Zella, how his car slides a little bit on the entry to turn number 19. He managed to keep that one under control though. Nardi, in the meantime, reels Danny Berezny in and is glued to his diffuser, really making a blue blob, getting more in, well, bigger and bigger on the mirrors of that McLaren, who probably now has his eyes behind him, or looking mostly behind him instead of setting them straight on the target that would be Romanidis, but he lost about 2/10 on the previous lap, so really on the back foot at the moment. In the meantime, Bena, as he's out of the circuit, is stopped at the beginning of the second sector, so issues for him, but Nardi does overtake Berezny. Further back, Zella and Mena battling it out for P9 as they are about 2.5 seconds away from Boda. Armengol has privileged view of that battle. Gabor is about to overtake Ben, I believe. Does Ben have damage after that off-road adventure? Yeah, he does have a completely missing front wing. So unfortunately for him, he's going to have to pull off into the pits. After a brilliant first lap, a mistake puts him in the wall. Coming out of turn number 9. That's a tricky combination. Those curbs are quite slippery and he found himself in the wall. So not the best of days for the TF10 drivers. Still keeping up with Berezny, who's back to putting pressure on Nardi. This Van Pookie though, as the future esports driver, is replacing BL, as BL was the driver who took part in the Dutch Grand Prix. Now Pookie was waiting for him for a driver swap for the USA Grand Prix, and he's doing a good job of keeping the top 4 honest, or at least Berezny and Nardi. Now we are going to have to wait and see if Nardi is able to close the gap to Romanidis, as we have yellow flags, and that is Manolin. And Moritz collects him. Moritz collects him, that's a 5-second penalty, and in the meantime, a lot of chaos at the moment. In the meantime, Zella finally attacks Mena as he's trying to get 9th place once again. He goes on the inside of turn 16. So the number 13 and the number 12 battling each other. Armengol gets a brilliant view of it, as Mena has the inside. Zella has to lift off a little bit. But is he going to try to overtake into turn number 1? Mena has a penalty. He knows that all this battling is just compounding his issues. And we have Zella closing in. Modesto though, trying to switch back at the last moment. There's slight contact, but Zella manages to get the move done, and up to P9 he goes. Great piece of battle for the both of them. That does allow Armengol to close in, and we might have a 3-way scrap for P9. Especially as this group lost a second to 8th placed Boda with all that battling. But we now start getting in the DRS zone for the leaders. Fire closing in on Istvan Pookie, who doesn't look like he gets DRS this lap. And he might be an easy target. The Williams is closing in. Pookie chooses the inside line. Fire is going for the switchback, can't quite get it done. And Armengol witnessing another round of the Zella and Mena fight. Zella goes a bit too wide on exit. Squeezes Modesto to the outside line, but overshoots the corner, and Mena manages to get back at him. Easy switchback for the Ferrari. P9 for Modesto Mena. Armengol really has no other choice but to try to either witness those two take each other out, or trying to get an opening to squeeze his Williams through. Just needs to be patient at the moment. Just waiting for an opportunity. Another second lost between this group and the top 8. Oh, Modesto loses the rear, and what a slide! He manages to catch it. Reminiscent of Senna and Piquet at the Nürburgring. Sorry, at the Hungaroring into turn 1. Mena manages to claim P9 with a slide. He does get a poor exit though, and Zella grabs P9 again. And Armengol just has nowhere to go. At the moment, he really has nowhere to go. And he has to wait. Can he get a better exit? The 2 cars ahead of him are probably starting to overheat their tires, which might be an issue at a track with lots of high-speed corners, such as the Circuit of the Americas. Armengol with the DRS follows the slipstream of Modesto Mena. He goes on the outside, under braking with Zella. Zella gets a better exit, but the Williams... Oh, there's contact! He has to correct the car. And Zella drops down to P11. I believe he's going to try it on the inside though, and yes, he does get the place back. So, surprising Armengol there. And gets P10 back, and looks like things have calmed down a little bit as Mena... I believe he broke the RS range to Zella. We are going to take a look at that. No, he still has the RS, but at least there's a little bit of time for them to breathe and try again later on. Who doesn't have any time to breathe is this group of cars. Limitless is at the back of it, but Fire needs to keep up the pace with Pookie, otherwise he risks losing out on the RS. Pookie got a warning. He got challenged by Fire a couple laps ago, but since then has been able to up his pace a little bit, and he's closed in on Berezne, who's been able to keep up with Nardi. Nardi, though, has lost 8 tenths to Romanidis since he took P3 from Berezne. So Pookie now with overtake with DRS, the slipstream also helps him quite a bit. Berezne goes defensive, tries to squeeze him a little bit, but the AlphaTauri still goes on the inside of the McLaren. Let's see who gets the better exit now. Fire gets a beautiful view of that battle. Nardi still maintains P3, but Pookie claims P4 from Berezne. And despite Berezne having the DRS and the slipstream from Nardi, that didn't stop Pookie from taking that 4th spot. So impressive stuff by the AlphaTauri driver. Zerner comes into the pits, and now is the moment of truth. Is he going for a 2-stopper or a 1-stopper? He's going for a 2-stopper. Soft, medium, I believe, is the strategy call for the Red Bull driver. Armengol follows him into the pits, which is quite early, I would say, for someone who starts on the mediums, or maybe he's trying to do medium, soft, but are going to have to wait and see. He goes for the softs at the moment. So maybe medium, soft, medium. Oh, but a change of front wing. Maybe that was a result of that contact we witnessed between him and Zella. And that's why he's pulling off into the pits at the moment. He had to change his strategy. So let's see how that one goes. At the moment it's a 1-2 for the Alpine. Sven Zerner though is going to have a massive undercut on them. And looks like he's coming out of the pits without traffic in front of him. Oh, but Fire now misses his braking point, but Limitless, he rushed his acceleration. And he's trying to get back at Fire though. He manages to get a better throttle application coming out of turn number 13 as he goes around the outside. Beautifully done. Oh, there's contacts there. As we also have Sabo Corny battling Taz as they are quite further back, but still battling it out for P11. Around the outside goes the McLaren trying to get back to P11, but Taz with a better exit is going to hold on to P11. Or so we thought. No, Corny, a little bit of contact and he loses the rear. Also loses that particular chance, that particular battle with Taz. Limitless though, a bit of a messy battle, but mistakes by either side of that one. But we did get Limitless past Fire. Also have Sven Zerner getting past Zella into turn 1. As he's making full use of his brand new soft tires, purple through the first sector, but getting back to the battles up ahead. Pookie closing in on Nardi, yes DRS, and Nardi has about 10% less battery charge than Pookie. So Nardi using a little bit of his ERS to nullify the top speed Pookie gets from his DRS. And Berezna a little bit on the same spot that Armengol was a couple laps ago on that battle for P9. He just has to wait for his opportunity. He's skipping up, topped off on battery charge, over 70%, so he hasn't been slow. He has just been maybe a bit passive. He hasn't been too aggressive, at the very least. If not passive, he's at least not been aggressive. And he's just buying his moment, waiting for an opportunity to present itself. Now, I don't know if all this waiting is going to take him away from a chance of attacking Zerner for the lead once all the strategies pan out. Speaking of Zerner, overtakes Modesto Mena to take 8th place. And the fastest lap of the race goes for him, 1:34.4. You can see. We approach another DRS zone. And Nardi got himself back a little bit. Oh, and Zella. Is it a lag moment again? It looks like so. Zella got himself back to P10. Hopefully nothing else gets messed up by this. Pookie grabs about 4/10 of a second, 5/10 of a second with the aid of DRS, but still ran out of track to overtake. Now Armengol quite further back as he pitted for a set of softs. We are also going to wait and see how that strategy adjustment pans out, as he had to swap his front wing after contact with Zella. Getting back to the front, it is now Romanidis, who's quite comfortable in charge of things. And apologize for the pause there, but had to do it. But yeah, Romanidis is quite comfortable at the moment. But of course, Zerner now still charging through the field, catches up to Boda. And relatively easy maneuver for the number 8. He's also getting, can I say it, lucky? He's getting a bit lucky because he's managed to get everyone into turn 1. So he hasn't caught up with anyone at the beginning of Sector 3, for example, which would slow him down quite a bit. And the lobby is going a wire again. So hopefully it fixes itself. Looks like it has. And the skies are also darkening a bit. Might we have rain towards the end of the race? Not quite sure, but we are going to surely find out if we're able to take the race to the end. In the meantime, Codorningolo goes to the pits. Oh, and that's... Oof, something is going wrong with Codorningolo there. We have the safety car being deployed, as you could see there in the background, and I really hope this isn't getting messed up. Modesto Mena out of the race with a crash. I couldn't quite see where that was, but we might be getting the lobby going haywire once again. So going to take a look. Yep, we do have the safety car on track, but Romanidis just overtook him, so I don't know. And Nardi backed off, sure, and yep, it's gone haywire again. And it's gone haywire again. There's a safety car on the track. And I'm going to have to pause the game again to take a look at this. But once again, we're having issues with the lobby, it looks like. But yeah, the safety car is on track. Romanidis, I believe, overtook the safety car. Probably because for him the safety car does not exist. But Pookie behind them. Yeah, they are closely following each other. So I'm not sure what the circumstances on track are at the moment. We also have a Mercedes parked. So Bena was parked on the straight for some reason. And this is what we have to show you, ladies and gentlemen. Not sure what I can say about that, but looks like he went into the pits. He's coming out on a set of softs. And is getting caught up by Romanidis. So we still don't get the gaps from the drivers at the moment. But are they catching up to the safety car again? Going to try and keep up with the onboard for Romanidis. I'm going to see how things develop. Yep, the safety car is parked, so probably the message is that the safety car is waiting for the leader, but I'm not sure the safety car knows who the leader is. And it's raining. We have rain starting to come down here in Austin. Modesto Mena, yeah, he's out of the race. Looks like he crashed out. But this hasn't been a good day for F1 2021, that is for sure. I can just hope that the situation for the drivers isn't the same as for me. They keep on racing. But it's quite impossible for me to keep up with who is where. Sven Zellner has overtaken Limitless and is now at the back, and finally we get a notification for a safety car. And we have Berezne in the pits. Sven Zellner penalty for exceeding track limits. But Berezne in the pits. We finally have safety car, and what is he changing into? A set of softs. But we have Boda who's going for intermediates. Boda is going for intermediates, and I do not know if this isn't the move of the year, because if they're getting into safety car situation, it might rain enough for it to start being intermediate circumstances. Zella also goes for the intermediates. Now the drivers behind them are starting to pit as well, as we have Fernandez pitting for intermediates, and yeah, looks like most cars are now starting to pit for intermediates. And now, oh, Zerner jumped everyone, Pookie as well, and Romanidis just jumped the safety car. I believe that now Romanidis was supposed to follow the safety car, but Zerner ignored those orders, I believe. And yeah, I'm not sure if that was just a mistake from Zerner. But yeah, the truth is the drivers overtook the safety car and they are coming into the pits. Yeah, they are coming into the pits. Zerner though did not. Zerner did not pit, but Romanidis did, Pookie did, and Fire did as well. Berezne changed into a set of soft tires. I'm not sure if he's going to change his mind. Looks like not. He's going to keep on going on the softs. And we're going to have to wait and see, I think, as things how things turn out. As then I believe is going to catch up to the safety car soon, as the safety car is right before the third sector at the moment. But the rain is intensifying. I'm really not sure if this was the best bet for both Zerner and Berezny. Romanidis is back into being the leader of the intermediate drivers group. But yeah, this is really difficult to judge. Armengol is racing Taz, and Fernandez was a lap down, at least according to my live timing. Oh, and Romanidis is out. What up? Moritz is out as well. What is going on? Wait. Zerner is disqualified for ignoring yellow flags, and Romanidis is out. I'm going to try to take a look and see why or where. No, his car has despawned already, but Romanidis is out, so a crash under safety car for him. Moritz is also out, but he has already despawned as well. And Berezny has caught up to the safety car. Pookie is going into the pit, so maybe a collision between Pookie and Romanidis is the cause of that DNF. As Pookie is going to change onto another set of intermediates, but not a new front wing, so if there was contact with Romanidis that caused that DNF, at least it wasn't contact with the front of Pookie's car. He does rejoin the track, P4 behind Boda. And Fire is going to catch up with Berezny soon. But yeah, once again, apologize for that, because it's out of our control, but yeah. Codemaster says they have fixed the desyncing issues, and probably they fixed the desyncing issues, but there are many more issues with the online at the moment. But looks like it stabilized itself back, because I haven't seen anyone just jumping about in the live standings. The gaps are updating correctly as well, so yeah, I guess it has fixed itself. But yeah, I don't have any and Berezny has been disqualified for ignoring yellow flags. But yeah, under Limitless got disqualified for overtaking the safety car. Yeah, I mean, the safety car has been deployed. Unless it is waiting for the leader, you are not supposed to overtake it, right? And what I've seen was that at least Zerner did overtake the safety car when Romanidis was just behind him. It said that he had to overtake it, but Simon, who had to overtake it? It has happened to me. I'm not defending the game at all, as you probably know, but it has happened to me. The game, Berezny tried to go to the pits. Yeah. Oh yeah, Berezny didn't do anything wrong. I was talking about when Romanidis got to the safety car, but Sven Zerner overtook them, and Zerner got disqualified. And I'm not sure Limitless had the message to overtake. That's the thing. I'm not sure if the drivers should overtake if they get the message. Because one thing, yes, you have the message, but if the leader is clearly behind the safety car, right? There's context for it. Why did the guys that got disqualified? The game believes they illegally overtook the safety car. And, well, the leader wasn't behind the safety car. Yeah, then they are allowed, of course, to overtake the safety car. Safety car is coming in this lap. Yes, there was inconsistency in the lobby. Yeah, the safety car was still waiting for the leaders. Yeah, then he's allowed to overtake, and yes, then it was not an illegal overtake, and it was wrongly disqualified. But yeah, the game is a mess at the moment, and we just have to wait for how things turn out. I haven't gotten any orders or anything from race control, or if I can call it that, to stop the race or anything. He got disqualified immediately. Yeah, him and probably many others, because we only have 11 drivers at the moment, but we do have green flag racing once again, and Fire is the leader. Daz overtakes Boda into turn 1, and Amengol is trying to get at him around the outside. Is he going to pull it off? If he can, that's a beautiful maneuver there from the Williams driver to claim P3 and both the DNFs. And both the DNFs. That's the thing, we don't have time to restart the lobby. So if we are going to cancel the race, then both races of the week get cancelled. But yes, both the DNFs, and not exactly sure why. He was in the middle of a battle. Maybe just retired via pause menu. And oh, we have Gabor missing a front wing, and hopefully does not get collected. That was very close with Manolin and Zella, I believe that was. But they are completely disconnected. Yeah. And we see Gabor also. Well, then go try to commentate this joke. It's my job to commentate whatever is going on. That's just it. I'm just doing my job, and you guys understand what's going on. Yeah, ladies, I agree with chat. There's anything you can do, and I thank you for understanding that this is out of our control. It's just how things are. But yeah, we are back with the safety car. And Fire has caught up to it. Oh, and he's now side by side with Armengol. Not sure. At this point, I'm even not sure if Armengol has Fire on his screen, or if they are just side by side, just having some kind of fun with it. But at least it is a 1-2 for the Williams, which is not a sight we usually have gracing any F1 tracks in recent years. Well, since 2014, right? 1-2 in qualifying at Austria for the Williams, and since then it's all gone downhill. But yeah, we have another safety car period, and we are going to see how that one develops. Stas for me is even on the softs, and I have a tough time believing he is on the softs. Because if he is on the softs, he would be locking up all the way through this braking zone. I'm pretty sure he is not on the softs. Oh, and there we have some ballet from Taz, but yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I'm trying to get some. Yeah, we only have 5 cars at the moment. I'm just trying to get some information about what to do, some decisions. Start the voting. I actually do not know how to start the voting in chat. Is that even possible? But yeah, I don't think that is possible on YouTube. Yeah, I don't think so, which is a bit unfortunate. Maybe YouTube could add that functionality. But yeah, sadly we cannot restart. We are out of time to restart the race, so yeah, we are just going to finish the race, and then there's going to be some decisions to make. But yeah, this is... everyone puts a lot of effort into this, and it's sadly how things are. Oh, there is a voting. Is there a vote? Yeah, there is a vote. We have less cars than Imola. Well, Imola was a bit... and Imola was quite a bit wetter than this. But yeah, the safety car... we could have a sprint between these 5 cars. Manolin is a lap down. And 1-2 for Somian. Yeah, that is true. They've done a good job of, well, avoiding all the chaos. That is for sure. But we are going to have, at some point, whenever the safety car decides to come into the pits, we are going to have a race. If I can say that. But yeah, we have green flag racing. And let's see how that... the camera... even the cameras are not helping us this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. There's nothing I can do. And finish like USA 20... that's not 02, that was 05, I believe. Did the USA 02 have a lot of... have a lot of crashes as well? Because I know 05... had only 6 cars finish, which I enjoyed, because as a Portuguese, Monteiro's podium is as deserved as any other race result for him. Because yeah, the Ferraris pulled off because they are the Ferraris, but the Jordans still had to fight the Minardis, so Monteiro still had to beat his teammate and the Minardis. So for him, that's just, in terms of effort, that was a race like the others. So, Monteiro's podium, in my opinion, I might be biased as a Portuguese though, but his podium has value to me. And yeah, so the vote is currently 65-35. And I understand whoever just tries to have fun with it at this point. But yeah, I mean, these drivers are giving it pins at the moment. They are, with 4 laps to go, with 3 laps to go, battling it out. Manolin is a lap down, but yeah, Goderningolo is disconnected though, and he's still ahead of Pookie, so I'm not sure what's going on, but yeah, it is unfortunate. It is an embarrassment. Unfortunately, there's not much we can do about it. So, once again, apologies as we were all looking for some great racing. We have some of the best names, if not in sim racing overall, in F1 2021, and they are more than capable of giving us great shows. But it's just nothing we can do when these situations happen. It's just some lack of leadership, perhaps, in whoever designs the game. But that's another story for another day. Once again, apologize for all this, but we can't keep on going like this. So this is it from me today. Hopefully next time we can have a much better show, but this time it is all from me. This was Racebug, and hope to see you next time. Goodbye.